Joined by the One Championship lightweight champion, Christian Lee. Christian, back in action. Always excited to see you compete. And I know you're always excited to compete. Big test for you, Timofey Nastyukhin. This one should be massive. One on TNT Part II. How buzzed are you for this one?
Oh man, I'm very excited for this matchup. Timofey's been working his way up the rankings, and I absolutely feel that he is deserving of this shot. He's really worked his way up to the #1 contender spot, knocking out Eddie Alvarez and then taking out Peter Baus, who was #3 at the time. So absolutely, he's a great fighter. He likes to go for the finish, and I think it's going to make for an exciting fight for the fans.
Has he been on your radar since a while? I mean, since coming on the scene, he's always looked dangerous. But in his early days, he looked more fallible. He lost to Herbert Burns, he lost to Boku, and then he lost to Dagi. And it was only after that, I think the Eddie Alvarez KO, right, that he really kind of announced himself. But has he been someone that you've been aware of for a long time in his career in ONE?
Yeah, I have been aware of Timofey for quite some time. One of his best knockouts, I feel, was his flying knee over Edward Foliang. That one really, I feel, put him on notice early. And then, yeah, he did suffer a few losses, but I still feel that he's a dangerous fighter because he's always looking for the finish. Some guys, they just want to go in there and win a decision. But, with Timofey, he really treats it like a fight, and he's always going in there to finish. So definitely he's a dangerous opponent.
I feel like journalists, they always love to ask, how does this guy compare with other tests that you face? And I think it's a bit of a difficult question sometimes because you haven't fought him yet. But in a way, because he's so dangerous in that regard, he's got that KO power. Is he one of the toughest tests for you so far?
Well, absolutely. I'm treating Timofey as my toughest test to date. So right now, I don't know what to expect. I've seen footage of him, I've seen tape, but I don't really know what to expect until the cage door shuts and I'm in there and we're feeling each other in that ring. So absolutely, I'm treating him as my most dangerous, my toughest opponent to date. And I'm training extremely hard for this one. So I'm not taking him lightly at all.
You've had plenty of big fights in your ONE career. You've had plenty of kind of crazy moments in the cage, big celebrations. Do you feel like you've really arrived now in your career? 5-fight winning streak, you're the champ, you won the GP belt, you're the main event on US television. Does this really feel like things have come together more than ever in a way, despite what's going on with the world?
I do. I feel that everything in my career has led me to where I am today. And I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel like I'm really starting to reach my prime. So I feel great. I feel, very blessed to be headlining a show on TNT. And I'm just glad that everything worked out the way it did for myself to be in the spot I am in my career.
How pleased were you with the Lapicus performance? It's funny because he was really marked as a dangerous guy, undefeated, and you made it look easy.
I'm very happy to have my first title defense in the books. Lapicus, he was a dangerous opponent, and right from the start, he came out swinging hard, and he was looking to take my head off as well. But I went in there, I was able to get a first round finish, and everything just went as planned. So I'm very happy that went the way it did.
The fight game's unusual because it's not like other sports in some regards. There's a lot of elements to this. Of course, there's elements of it being martial arts. It's a sport. It's also prize fighting. It's many different things. And you also need to build up yourself as a champion so you get the biggest checks, so you get the biggest prizes, so you get the biggest fights. Are you conscious of the fact that this is an opportunity to really announce yourself to the US audience? I mean, you're based in Hawaii. Some of the US audience will still be discovering you, right? So that's an opportunity. Is that something that you're aware of?
Yes, absolutely. Timothy got a lot of notice when he knocked out Eddie Alvarez because I believe that show was one of the first ones to be aired on TNT. I'm not sure if that one was, but I believe it was one of the first shows. So definitely a lot of the US audience was watching that fight. They expected Eddie Alvarez to win, and then Timofey went in there and knocked him out. So, for me, this is just another opportunity to prove myself against a tough finisher who already has a bit of notice from the U.S. audience in knocking out Eddie, and I think it's just going to be a great chance for me to showcase my skills and to put on a performance for the U.S. crowd.
How intrigued are you by the fact that Eddie is taking on Yuri? Because it seems very much like they're fighting for the right to fight you in a way. So despite being focused on what's happening with your own fight, is that something that intrigues you that you'll be keeping half an eye on?
I'll definitely go back and watch that fight over again. Once my fight is done, right now my only focus is on Timofey, but I do feel that they're trying to gear Eddie towards a title shot. I think that if Yuri is able to get a win over Eddie, he's probably gonna have to fight a few more times before he gets another crack at it, because he just lost in his shot. But I definitely think that Eddie's going to be screaming for a shot if he's able to get a win over Yuri. But that's a big if. So he's just got to stay focused on his fight, and I'm gonna stay focused on mine, and then we'll see how things line up after that.
I feel like there was a little while there, people were enjoying writing stories, asking you questions about Khabib, because you're the champ, he was the champ. Is any part of you disappointed that he's retired? I know it would have taken something pretty spectacular for you to ever fight him, because cross promotion between the UFC is probably not realistic, but what's the feeling there? Are you a little bit disappointed that that's not going to happen now that he's retired?
Well, I absolutely would have loved to make that fight happen. I have a ton of respect for everything that Khabib has done in his career, and he was a great fighter. But yeah, definitely, a little bit of disappointment. I would have loved to make that fight happen. But I think a lot would have to go into it for ONE Championship and UFC to put two of their champs on the line for a cross promotional event like that. But and if it could ever happen again, I would still be all for that.
It's funny because Alvarez has pretty much fought a lot of the other top lightweights in the world. He fought Gaethje, he fought Poirier. If you could have one sign any of those UFC lightweights, who would it be? I mean, would it be McGregor for like the red panty night? Well, if you could have one off cross promotion lightweight fight, who would it be?
Well, right now I think the UFC lightweight division is kind of in a standstill after Khabib left it, and right now they're trying to see who's going to be the next guy to really step into the light. Conor was trying to make his way back in, but after his knockout loss to Poirier, I think he's got a little bit of work to do to be back in that spot. So I'd really just waited to see who's able to make their way up to the belt, and whoever that guy is, that's the guy who I'd want, because I'm just trying to fight the best fighters in the world and to make a name for myself.
Seems to be a great time for the family. Victoria got off to an awesome start of her career. How proud were you of that? That turned out really well.
I was so extremely proud of Victoria. At 16 years old, it's amazing that she was able to collect herself, collect her nerves, and go in there and put on such a great performance. I saw how hard she worked leading up to that match, and it's just a great thing to see how all of her hard work was able to pay off on that night, and she was able to stick to the game plan and get the finish in round 2. So extremely proud of her.
And your little brother's now sparring with you, or he's now training with you. How cool is that? That the whole family is just going up another level all the time.
It's great. My little bro, he started off just being in the kids class. I would be coaching him, and now he's my height already. He's pushing me. He's my main training partner for this camp, and I'm so proud to see my two little siblings grow up into and to really see their development as martial artists. And once my little bro turns 18 year for whatever division he ends up in, I think he's going to be bigger than me. So lightweight, welterweight, whatever that may be, he's definitely going to put the world on notice once he decides to turn pro.
Awesome. And as a kind of student of the game, how excited are you when ONE Championship makes a really big signing? Gordon Ryan just signed today. In light heavyweight, I believe, or maybe heavyweight. You never know. I don't know if he's going to fight MMA. It says he will, but definitely submission grappling. Is he someone that's on your radar that you respect? Are you happy to see ONE getting guys like this in the mix?
Yeah, you know, it's great that ONE Championship signed Gordon Ryan. You know, he's a great grappler. Probably one of the best grapplers in the world right now, if not the best no-gi grappler. So I think that he's definitely going to be a big tear for whatever division he joins. And I wouldn't be surprised if they sign him and he starts fighting MMA right from the beginning.
And finally, then, I guess on behalf of your sister, are you keeping an interested eye on the Grand Prix? How excited are you to just see how that plays out? There's some pretty interesting matchups in there. I mean, Denise versus Seo Ham, I think, is probably the real one to watch there. And you got Meng Bo in there. Who are you keeping an eye on in that one? Who do you think is going to come out on top and get to face Angela?
You know, I think they threw a bunch of great fighters in the Atomweight Grand Prix, but really, I'm not going to be paying attention until there's two fighters left fighting for the finals, because that's going to be the person Angela's going to be defending her belt against. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. And you know, I'm very excited for my sister. Right now, she's still focused on the pregnancy, you know, focused on growing her baby. But once she gives birth and once she gets back into camp, I'm just so excited to help her along her way back and to get her fight ready again. And man, I think that whoever comes up on top from that Grand Prix is going to be in for a hell of a fight once Angela gets back.
Awesome. So we've almost got you back. You seem to have a massive wave of momentum behind you. 5 victories. Only one of them went the distance, the Daggy fight. So are you confident this is going to be another vintage Christian Lee performance, another stoppage?
Absolutely. I'm going to be looking for the finish right from the bell, and I don't see this getting out of the first round.
Respect, man. Can't wait to see you back. Always good to talk to you.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.